guys, how you doing? Welcome to American Defender. Since I've got back into surplus rifles, I figured I'd go ahead and make this video for you guys. A lot of you, when you get a surplus rifle, if you've never owned one, you'll look down the bore and you'll all of a sudden go, ah! You'll go, ah, crap. Or you're shooting your surplus rifle, your old Bosun Nagant, your K98, your K31, whatever it is, Carcano or Arasaka, Chilean Mauser, Turkish Mauser, and you're like, I just can't get this thing on target right. I can't get these nice tight groups that everybody else is on YouTube and all these other places. I can't do it. Something's wrong here. What am I doing wrong? And you drive yourself nuts. And then you start kind of searching around, and then you get the light, your bore light out, and you pull the bolt, you look down there, and you see it. There it is. It's staring you in the face. That black bore, the dark bore. Okay? And you automatically, from what a lot of people know, you don't see a shiny bore. You're seeing pitting. You're seeing things like that. And you just go, oh, no, I need a new barrel. No, you don't. Nope. You don't need a new barrel. Now, there's a lot of gunsmiths out there that are going to look down at that bore. I've ran into a couple myself, and I am so happy that I took my gunsmithing class that I did. I am so happy because it has saved me a butt-ton of money in the end. Even though I never opened my gunsmithing shop up, that was something I was going to do. And it still gave me the knowledge, and it allowed me to save myself some money and maybe save you guys some money. So you're looking down the bore, all right? Looking down the bore, and it looks like the moon. You got all these little pits everywhere. What causes that? That's caused from the corrosive primers, the compounds in the primer of the old surplus Russian, German, Berdan primed ammo. Heck, even some of the really old Boxer prime stuff was corrosive. Okay. And it's not so much that they shot corrosive primed ammo through it. It's that they shot it through it and then didn't clean it. Okay? It was allowed to absorb moisture into the barrel. Remember, a lot of these guns, they're on a battlefield. You ain't got time when you've got the enemy in a trench 100 yards away from you, whizzing bullets past you. You ain't got time to sit there and go, hey, time out, everybody, clean your rifles. You ain't got time for that, okay? That doesn't happen. You're just going to keep putting fire down until one side is done and they've won that battle. And granted, there might be a break in the fire, and if you're ever in battle, any chance you get to clean your gun, you do it, especially if you're shooting corrosive stuff. And all it really would take is a wet, watery patch or some Windex or something, and run it down in there a couple times. They would issue this really black, goopy, water-based cleaner for the bore, and that's what the active ingredient really was water, and it would melt down and liquefy those potassium, sodium chloride salts that were in the priming compound, and then the bore would be okay. All right. Well, a lot of the time that didn't happen. They wouldn't do that. They just shot the crap and they didn't care, or the person that had that rifle got shot and the rifle laid there out on a battlefield for God knows how long until the enemy came by and recovered it or whatever. And got snowed on, rained on, had blood all over it, mud up in the barrel, who knows. The conditions that the rifle was exposed to didn't help. Okay, that's what I'm getting at. So what do you do? What do you do to take care of this? What is the correct way to correct this situation, and do pits really matter? Is it really as big a deal as everybody says it is? And the answer again is no, they're not as big a deal. Now, if it's something that makes the barrel unsafe, Of course, that's a big deal. Okay, common sense. At that point in time, you only have two options. Rebarreling it, having a liner put into the barrel. That's your options. Okay. But if the barrel is safe to use, which most of them will end up being safe to use, there's something you can do. Okay, now I want to show you something. First off, I want to demonstrate what a pitted barrel can do and prove to you that a pitted barrel can still hold accuracy. You can still get accurate shots out of it. You might not be getting those nice tight 1-inch groups that everybody's looking for. But remember, these guns, they're designed to be battle accurate. And I've got some dirt on my target here that I want to get off of it. Okay. Alright, so what we got here, and if you follow me on Instagram, on the 26th of December I posted this. You'll recognize this target. Recognize it now? Huh? How about now? Alright, if you don't follow me on Instagram, there's my Instagram, American-Defender-Jack. So I took some Tula 148 grain 7.62 by 54 out, and I wanted to see how this rifle did. Alright, I'm talking about the Smurf, my 1936-90-130 Sporter. I know I said it was an M38 before. It was sold to me as an M38 Sporter. And then I got thinking, wait a minute, M38 means it would have been made in 1938. It's a 1936. That's a 9130. Oh, sad day. Don't have a M38. Oh well. Still got a Mosin Nagant. That's all that matters. All right, so I got in there and I was adjusting the sights and I was kind of trying to get this thing up on paper. And as you can see here, yes, it looks funny. Go ahead, ha 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 ha. Make fun of it. So I'm kind of bringing it up in here to see where I'm at. I'm aiming at the center of the target. I'm aiming at the bullseye at all of this, okay? And I'm adjusting my sights at the same point in time so I can get clean groups. Alright, so I'm not like, okay, this group I think was this one. And no, I want them separated. I want them clear cut and dry to where I know where they're grouping. So I got down in here and took a few shots. Kind of got it on paper and was like, okay, I got to bring it up. So I brought up my aim a little bit. I'm like, okay, I know where I'm at now. And then I shot this group right here. Okay. And this group, this is a hot, steaming hot, cook some bacon on the barrel hot group. It's 5 inches at 100 yards. Okay. Now, 5 inches at 100 yards, that's battle accuracy. I know a lot of people don't look at that as accurate, but that's battle accurate. Okay, that's accurate for a Mosin Nagant shooting Tula. That's pretty damn good, especially with a cooking hot barrel to where when the rain's hitting it, you can see it and hear it, and it's steaming off of the thing. Water's evaporating. That's pretty damn accurate. Okay, that's pretty good. But I wanted to tighten the groups up, so I thought, okay, I'm going to let this thing cool. So I sat down, pulled the bolt, walked away for about half an hour, went through one of our circuits that we went through at the range, called a ceasefire, let everybody do their thing on that, came back, and then I loaded it up. It was cold to the touch. Barrel had cooled all the way down to the environment's temperature, and I shot it again. And my second group, well, you can see that heating a barrel does absolutely, most definitely, affect your accuracy. My second group's 3.5 inches. Right there. Okay? 3.5 inches. Immediately followed it up. Did a little bit better trigger discipline this time. And I started to tighten. Okay, you can see I started to tighten. But then this sucker pops in there. And we get a 4 3/4 inch group. So, is that Mosin Nagant Sporter that I have with a 21 3/16 of an inch barrel accurate? Well, again, that depends upon your definition of accurate. What it was designed for? Yeah, it's battle accurate still. That's pretty damn good. With Tula, that's pretty good. Alright. But is that satisfactory? Well, for battle accuracy, yeah, 3.5 inches is damn good. 4 3/4 is good. 5 inches is good. Okay, that's kind of getting on the edge there for me, but that's good enough. I want more, though. Just like everybody else, I want more. I want to push those boundaries. I want to get rid of those pits. I want to get rid of that black dark bore, and I feel that I can absolutely get that sporter, excuse me, to shoot nice little 1-inch groups. And as you can see on here, it's trying. Okay, it's definitely trying to do it. But how do I get it to do it all the time? How do I get rid of that black bore? How do you do it? Well, you're going to get online again and you're going to find all these snake oil myths. Running abrasives, scouring pads, Scotch-Brite, Wonder Liquids, phosphoric acid, muriatic acid, all sorts of stuff down the bore to get it to shine. Okay, the bore shining don't mean crap. As long as the bore is smooth, if the pits that are in your barrel don't have little burrs and high spots on them, they don't mean anything. All right, but I know there's some of you out there, you want that nice mirror bore. You want that shiny bore. How do I get this bore, Jim? How do I do this? How do I increase this accuracy? You're going to have to get into hand loading. That's how you're going to get that accuracy. Chances are your bore is a little oversized from the use and abuse and the corrosion. And there's actually bacteria even that's in the air that gets caught up in the cartridge when they load it that eats metal. And if you've got a gun like mine that's 84 years old, it's probably been exposed to that. So you're going to have a couple thousandths of metal missing out of your bore. So what you got to do is slug your bore. Slug it. What does that mean? That means you're going to get a fishing weight, a lead ball for a musket, a soft lead bullet, something like that. And you're going to make a plug. You're going to make a slug is what you're going to do. You're going to make a slug. You're going to put it on the muzzle of the bore. You're going to grease the bore, first off. Grease the bore really good. Grease the slug. Put it on the muzzle. All right, use a non-marring hammer, unless you just don't care about your crown, which I don't, because I'm going to recrown my Mosin, because my crown's goofed anyway, which is going to help you too with your accuracy, but that's another video. And you're gonna flatten this piece of lead out and basically hammer this piece of lead down your bore, is what you're going to do. A lot of videos on how to do it. And you can use 6-inch sections of hardwood dowel to do this, and whatever. Again, you guys can refer to those videos. Just look up, slugging a rifle bore, and it'll come up. There's lots of good videos. And you're going to get this slug that pops out the end, and you're going to measure it. Okay, now your average, talking about Mosin to Gants, your average Mosin to Gant is going to run a bore of about 311, 312. Okay, it's still 30 caliber, but it's towards the higher end of 30 caliber. Okay, now remember, your bore when it was machined out, when it started, was at .300. When they ran the button through to create your grooves, that's when you get the 312, and that's what you want to measure, is those grooves going down that bore. So any real high or tight spots in there, when you get that slug, basically what that slug is going to be is a photo negative of your bore. And you're going to take a pair of calipers and you're going to measure the high spots, which will actually be the photo negative of your grooves. When you get that number, whatever it is, in my case, my bore's high spots were at 314. What you want to do is find a bullet that's 1/1000th of an inch larger than what you slug at. So I'm at 314. I need to find a 315 bullet. There just so happens to be a 315 thousandths bullet out there, and it came on the 8x51R Mannlicher. That's what I'm going to try to run. Now, if you run lead, you can get away with 2000s. Don't ever go above 2000s. Don't ever go above that, okay? From a safety standpoint, because if you get any bigger than that, your pressure's increase in your barrel, and you can, right there, all right? You could split the barrel, blow the gun up, all sorts of stuff. So if you're going to use jacketed, 1/1000th of an inch. There's no wiggle room for that one. 1/1000th of an inch is the rule. Don't go any bigger. If you're going to run lead, you can get away with 2000s. That's why if you look at a 45, let's use a 45 caliber bore as an example. Okay, 45 ACP, something a little more modern. Your bore is drilled out and bored out at 450. Your full metal jacket projectile that goes down your pistol. Now there's a little difference in a rifle and pistol bores, but you guys will get the understanding here. Your full metal jacket, if you measured it, is going to be at a 451, 1/1000th of an inch larger than what the gun was bored out to. If you're going to use lead, generally that's 2000s, so it's at a 452. Generally, you can get away with the 451 in lead as well, but the reason you want to go 452 is because lead's softer, and you're going to lose a little bit sometimes going down the barrel. All right. So what I'm going to end up doing, though, going back to the Mosin and to the pitted bore, is I'm going to find a 1/1000th of an inch larger bullet. When I do that, I'm going to load up some loads to like a medium range. Okay, I'm not going to a full power. Medium, low end load, medium range load, medium power, medium pressure is what I mean by that. And I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to shoot about 100 rounds of it. And when that happens, you should be able to take that bore light and look down your bore afterwards, and all of a sudden, now you've got a clean, shiny silver bore staring you in the face. That's because you're shooting the correct size bullet down the bore. You're not shooting the factory size anymore. You're shooting the correct size to that bore. Now, I've measured some of my bullets that I have for Tula and for the Wolf, and even some of the steel core silver tip 7.62 by 54. And my Tula and my Wolf measure at 312 to 313. And all of my steel cores measure 313. Okay? If I'm measuring that on those bullets, remember I said my bore is slugging out at 314, that means I'm not really getting all the engagement on those bullets. That means there's a little bit of an air gap. There's about 1/1000th of an inch to 2/1000ths of an inch air gap in between the bullet and the bore, which is allowing those corrosive compounds to get in there and allow gases to get past the bullet and get ahead of the bullet before it leaves the chamber. That's what you want to try to stop. You want all the gases to stay behind it, to push it, and you want a full engagement of that bullet on the lands and grooves. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And that's how you clean up your bore. You just shoot it. You just get the correct size bullet and shoot it. It's that simple, guys. There's really nothing else to say. There's no magic. There's no magic compound. There's nothing you're going to ever do with any kind of these pastes or anything that are ever going to have any kind of effective anything. Nothing. Not with the surplus rifle. Not with these antiques. Nothing. You just got to hand load. Okay? That's all there is to it. And I know for a fact, if I'm shooting a 313 projectile, 313 to 313.5 is what I measured out with my projectiles. If my bore was at 314, and I'm getting that with a 313, 3.5 inches, I know the second that I engage those lands and grooves the correct way, and I get that correct stability leaving that barrel, that group's going to go right on down. So, hand loading. If you want accuracy out of your surplus rifle, or any rifle really, but especially out of a surplus or out of a worn bore, you're going to have to get into hand loading. You're going to have to, because a lot of these guns, the bores are oversized because they've been shot, because of corrosion, because of the metal eating bacterias that are in the bullet and in the air. You're going to have to hand load. That's just all there is to it. And reloading is a fun thing to do, and it's really satisfying to load your own ammo, send it downrange, and all of a sudden this old clunky gun that you thought was a pile of garbage is shooting just as good as this dude's Remington 700 down the lane that you paid thousands of dollars for and has all this money into. And you got a couple $100 into your old worn out Mosin Nagant or whatever, and it's doing the job. And the gun's shooting like it was new. It's very satisfying. And it's educational. So with that, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Hand loading is the secret to getting that shiny bore, getting the gun back on target. Remember that. Pitted bores don't mean it's the end of the road for your gun. You just got to know what to do and give the gun what it wants. I'm out. God bless you. Like, rate, subscribe, and we'll see you guys all on the flip. Bye now.